Hi, this is the latest project I have. This is a water level control for a drum style humidifier for a furnace. Normally what they would have on a furnace is that you'd have a tray of water and then you'd have a little float here, and what would happen is the float would rise up, and as it was rise up, this is your water intake here, it would block the water flow, but it never works well. So I thought I'd make an electronic one. This one is way overkill here. So my initial idea is that I would get a this would be this microswitch here. So when this float rises up, it closes the microswitch. Right? So normally this is a normally closed switch here, so it's always on, and what it does is provide power to this guy. So let's take a look at what we got here. So I've got a solenoid here. This is a water valve, and the water valve is controlled by a relay over here, and this is a timer board. Right? Now I have a friend of mine gave me a 24 volt AC transformer wall wart, and what I have to do, and that's powering this guy. This guy takes 24 volts AC, and this relay is controlling it, turning it off and on. So one of the things I found out is that this is a 24 volt DC board, so I had to have a power supply. So I took my 24 volts AC into here. There's a rectifier and a capacitor, so now I've got right now 30 volts DC coming into this board. This one is a DC to DC converter, so it converts it from 34.6 volts. Right now what happened is this de-energized, so there's no load on it, so the voltage went up, and the output is 24 volts. This is kind of a neat little module. It's a DC to DC converter. It cost $13 off of Amazon Canadian, dirt cheap. Then I take the 24 volts AC or DC here, and what I do is I run it through this microswitch. Then the microswitch comes and powers this guy. Right? So the idea is that when the level is up, this microswitch is open and there's no power to the timer relay board. Right? Now this says is we need the water level's low, so the timer goes on, and the timer will go for 60 seconds, right? And it will energize this, the water valve, until the level comes up, and when the level comes up, it turns it off. So the whole idea behind this is that the timer board is just a safety feature. So if for some reason the switch fails or this float fails, it'll only allow the water to flow for 60 seconds and shut it off. I also have another microswitch here, and this microswitch is an override, so if I want to fill up the tray, let's see if we got the power off here, well whatever, I can click here and this will actually turn on the relay, right? Or sorry, the solenoid. Turn on the solenoid, and then I can fill up the tray, and then it can be normal operation. So some of the things that I did that now in hindsight, after I've bought all this stuff and I'm looking at it, ideally what I should have done is get a 12 volt DC AC adapter, about 1 amp or so, a 12 volt DC water valve solenoid, and then a 12 volt DC timer board. If I had that, I wouldn't have needed this board, I wouldn't have needed all of this. So I could have made it quite simpler. So that's the project, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.